Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you've had a good few days. What a Monday. SPY's ripping. We're going to talk about that. What a choppy market to trade in. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. I did buy GME shares and calls today. If you have a Twitter, you can follow us on at Happy Money YT, as well as a Discord server. A link for those are in the description. I think GME right now is kind of lagging the SPY. So that's why I'm bullish on GME, because this is SPY, man. False breakouts on all angles. It was just crazy. It was coming up here and it's been selling off, and then it gets oversold on the RSI. I'm like, all right, it's gonna find a bottom somewhere, and seeing a doji down here, so it looks like it's doing good for a support. And then the next day, yes, it's good. Breaks resistances here. Looks like it's ready to start rallying. Bear market rally to midterms, whatever. Bump up in the RSI. Everything's good. And then boom. Next day sells off is on Thursday. Then on the daily here, we have a little head and shoulder, shoulder, head. And we're like, oh, well, I guess we're consolidating before we're going down again. Or up, but that's a head and shoulder. That's still bearish. Everything's still bearish momentum. And then, of course, Friday, boom, break the low, just like we did here, breaking the high on Wednesday. Break the low, all-time low for the year, and that's the support. Last support just flushed through, and on significant volume. Look at that increasing volume there. See that? Look at all that volume. And of course, all the macroeconomic stuff going on. You're like, all right, market's gonna actually crash, because RSI being really low, like, yeah, in a normal market environment, that's fine. If there's like market crashing or squeezing environment, it kind of ignores that for the most part. So then we start looking at the weekly chart, and it's like red under the 9, bearish MACD, broke the support, everything's getting bad. And today, potentially confirming that that was a false breakout to the downside. And now it's like, okay, looks like we're gonna go back up, because now we have an inverse head and shoulders. We've got an RSI divergence here now. This to me is looking more bullish. More bullish than basically this breakdown was, because this is so oversold. And if it's not gonna just completely crash, flash crash, then it doesn't like to be oversold like this. So now we've got this RSI divergence here on the daily, and we've got an inverse head and shoulders. Today's volume is going to be low. September's volume is, or October's volume is always low, and September's price action is usually always bearish. So September's bearish, October it could be bearish, volume could be up, but historically it's not that way. So today's volume is like very low. We've got about 50 minutes left till close, and we're doing like half the volume of yesterday, not even half. Yeah, it's going to be low. But I do see that RSI divergence, and last time we had that on the daily, well, we did have one earlier, but I'll show you this one. Confirmation bias here, but here was our RSI divergence here. We had this little rally, but then a little drop, but really this was the beginning of this bear market rally, the biggest one we had this year. It started with a weekly. We saw it on the macro, or longer time frame rather, and had it here. Right, had the weekly RSI divergence there, and had the rally from that. And now we actually are potentially getting on the weekly. I don't want to jump ahead, but if this week closes even where it's at right now, this will be divergence from back here. A lower low than here, and a higher low on the RSI on the weekly. So that could mean another big move up. On the daily, we do have this RSI divergence though as well. So fingers crossed. I'm wondering if we're going to get a bear market rally, and what gaps that will fill to the upside. If this is our bottom before midterm rally right here, and we just go up until midterms, which is November 8th, so basically a month. So GME's starting to catch up with SPY a little bit here. SPY's up 3% though, it's a big day. So fill the gap, maybe come up here 401, maybe further. Hard to know, but tomorrow we'll more or less confirm if this RSI divergence is going to stick. Well, I guess today really is, if we close this high, but it's not totally confirmed yet as far as the trend. So if we're trying to time it to the upside today might be it, but we still could get shaken out of this because if you look here, we could be building an RSI divergence to the downside. Lower highs here, higher highs here. That's bearish. So that's not built yet, but this bullish one is built. But I'll show you right back here where we built not as strong of one at all, but we did have an RSI divergence here. So this low with that low on the RSI, and then this low was lower than this one with a higher RSI. And then we broke through that and kept going down. So that was the last situation where we had a bit of a divergence and then it broke through. So we're looking for it to break lows to basically cancel out that divergence, or stay somewhat strong and start to slowly rally, and then that will be confirmed. But yeah, at this case, I mean, the safest play to go long would be to wait until we break, I'd say, this high. We have a daily candle closing above that body. Yeah, I'd say it's bullish, especially above that wick. So once it starts filling in that gap, I would say it's a safer bet to go long on the market, on futures, on even GME maybe. Because then you could imagine we probably will have a rally for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And that could be quite long, similar to this rally here. So with that, I think GME could move up as well. Because oftentimes these kind of bear market rallies, GME has had its pinches, and we are potentially due. I do have this line for October 10th, somewhere around here for T69, and the cycles that GME moves in. So things are lining up. This does look like kind of a mess up one, but this does look like a trough, a bottom, a bounce, kind of a, not a crest, but kind of a plateau, and then a retest, kind of a double bottom with a higher low. So we've got kind of our double bottom here, higher low, and then a rip. So not as much like here. This is kind of a shorter time frame, almost more like this one. This is longer, but more like this one, or like this one right here. Let's see, where's another one? Like this one. Pretty similar to this one. The trough with the higher low right here, same deal. So the rally that we see on GME might only last a day or two like this, 2-3 day rally. I don't know if it'll be 10 days like this one. This one was only 2 days. This one was a grind up, but yeah. So I basically started scaling into some shares back in. I got some on the IRA like a week ago. I haven't been able to trade for quite a while. Lost power and internet, and it kind of sucked rolling stuff around. I had short puts and all sorts of stuff, but I had no power, and I had my mobile data wasn't even working. So there's literally no way I could do anything. Thankfully I was able to get some spotty data and was able to roll short puts, and then also had that put credit spread on GME. I would have ended up, I think, being short, or no, I would have just been in crazy margin calls. So that was wild. I actually just shorted a future right here. Been choppy. I've been scalping futures and failing today, trying to catch the bottom or the top more or less, and wasn't even considering this RSI divergence that would probably come about with that big gap up this morning. I thought the gap up was more likely a shakeout, kind of a bull trap, because yesterday this breakout to the downside looked pretty textbook. But yeah, once we gapped up, then we're having this RSI divergence. Then it's like, okay, so I don't want to jump the gun too much, but this does look very bullish to me, unless if this RSI really comes down. So could be good. So this consolidating down would be good. Good time to go long. Maybe back down to this kind of support here. Maybe even back down to VWAP. VWAP's so far away. Wow. And GME with that. If SPY really does that move, like 2, 3, 4, even like a month-long move, GME probably will do some pretty big ups. Maybe a grind up with a couple big pops, kind of like here. And then like a couple big move days. Look from 713 to 815. So GME is kind of doing its thing from the split. 727, 813. So all this was just kind of in this bear market rally on SPY. This was too, but I think that was more from the split causing this price action. So yeah, move up on GameStop on this rally. I mean, at least I would say 32, and I don't see why it wouldn't do more, depending on how long and how strong the SPY is. Maybe 38, maybe back up into the 40s, or SPY crashes, GME crashes, and then it'd be Volkswagen short squeeze out of here. So weekly could be building that RSI divergence. We'll have to wait till end of Friday. GameStop, I mean, there's not any divergences. It just looks like bearish momentum at this point. So going long on GameStop for a swing is I'm trying to front run it a little bit, just anticipating the move based on SPY. So I see SPY moving. I think GME might just be kind of a lagging at this point. But we will see. I'm gonna go slow, scale in this week. Show you guys what we did. Yeah, all that stuff. So I bought a put today. Oh, call. Yeah, I got some calls. Okay, calls. October calls 26. Really gonna be doing more shares though with GME on this. Maybe some debit spreads. More some calls. I kind of want volume and borrow fee to confirm the move before we go too crazy on shorter dated calls. Yeah, it's been pinned at 10% for quite a while. 500,000 shares. So I'd like to see that start increasing, 12, 13% at least. And the volume to be up. But we might, before we get the bigger volume and the borrow fee increasing, we might be already up to 34, in the 30s. Just like, kind of like here, we'd made a move from 32 up to 37, and the volume was still light, and borrow fee could have been still light, and then, then we had a move that was just a 2-day move. So it's possible it won't be something like this, where you're just at this bottom trough and then it rips. It might just be kind of a bit of a grind and then a rip. Yeah, still have data. So today's rip really started on the market with bad jobs data, which is kind of a sign of poor economic times and a recession that we're in. But that caused the market to rally because market's thinking, okay, Powell's going to pivot and slow down raising rates. So bad news is good news for the market, more or less, if that makes sense, because it all has to do with what Powell's going to do with interest rates. So if jobs is strong, everything looks strong, it's bad for the market because they think, all right, he's going to keep raising interest rates. If things are looking grim, then they're thinking he's going to slow down. Yeah, so then money's looser, hotter, easier to access, etc. Yeah, so actually that's the only plays I really did today on here. Still have my DB put. I was liking to see all that Credit Suisse bearishness going bankrupt. I'm like, please take DB with you. It'll only be 9 grand, I guess, but DB goes to 0. I'll have 9,700 on that play, I think, something like that. BBY, yes. THTX. Widespread, we'll see on that. That's a, yeah, I don't know. Oh, and then also when I was down, there was an IPO that came out, and I, of course, got allocated shares, and I got screwed because I didn't sell any, and it dumped just like every IPO has been doing. Oh, I think I've actually dumped it now. Yeah, it's this one, Lace. So I had it at like 5 something. Not to say I would have profited, but I at least would have most likely recouped most of my money back. So it opened here. I could have made money on it, but I most likely would have sold it in here. But instead, I had to wait. Even end of day, for whatever reason, Webull said I couldn't sell it. So maybe because it was the first day, I don't know what it was, but I had to wait till today. Thing might rally now, I don't know, but I sold my shares on this IPO. And SPY is strong, man. I'm waiting for a sell-off to go long on the futures. At least a bit of consolidation or some chilling out after hours in the futures market. And then on my rolls, let's see, I didn't have to roll anything on the Theta account here. I still have cash in here. I haven't gotten shares on here. Still kind of slowly scaling. Yeah, so my BBBY short puts, I was fine on those because I had to have till October on those. But then I had a put credit spread, so I do have that bullish play here on GME. This put credit spread I opened. I didn't even really know how I was rolling it. It was using the app on these platforms. If you're not familiar, I'm like, what the heck? It was so difficult to figure out how to roll a credit spread on the app. Oh man, I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, basically rolled it. I think I rolled it down a strike but to Friday. So 25, 26. If we have any kind of momentum, this play should work out nicely. 583 on that one, which would be nice. Max profit. And then on Fidelity, I had to roll my GME short put. I rolled it down. I was able to roll down to 25 strike. Hopefully this one will be out of the money, and maybe I'll flip it over to shares this week. Still on my BBY short puts for October monthlies. I'm looking at General Motors. There it is. So we'll see. I mean, this could be another fake out to the upside. It's possible. We did have a kind of a false RSI divergence spike here, given that one wasn't nearly as strong as this one in my opinion. And we're kind of expecting a rally into midterms. When it starts, I don't know, but it doesn't have to happen. We've seen a sell-off into midterms as well, so it's just less likely. But with today's big green candle, low volume, yeah, which doesn't show much conviction. But that being said, this is just a low volume month, and we've started it a few days ago, October. So yeah, broke some resistances there on SPY. Has a little bit more gap to fill there, and then a couple more gaps on the way up. But so far, I'm looking bullish. I don't want to get gun shy, because here I got bullish because it broke resistances, and then I made a head and shoulders, so I got bearish, broke the support, so I was really bearish, and now today I'm flipping back. So that's just what happens in a choppy market. This isn't a really good market to trade. You want to just really wait for the direction, unless you're doing more complex options that can basically profit on sideways chop. But yeah, so it's looking bullish to me at this point. Tomorrow that could change. It would be pretty tough for that to change though tomorrow, just because even if this RSI came down some, there would still be that divergence. So maybe consolidation tomorrow, but it seems like the bottom is in for now before a bear market rally. Thanks for watching, guys. That was a lot. We'll see you on Discord. Peace out.